Measure of intelligence. Present. In this video, we'll be discussing the INFJ temperament kind. The INFJ, or introspective, intuitive, feeling, judging, may be a rare kind, creating up solely concerning 1 to 2% of the population. INFJ's square measure famous for his or her creative thinking, insight, and idealism, and that they typically possess a powerful sense of ethics and a want-to-know complicated problems. We'll be exploring the distinctive strengths and challenges of this temperament kind, still as some samples of known INFJs. By the tip of this video, you must have an improved understanding of what it suggests that to be associate degree INFJ and the way this temperament kind will manifest in numerous people. The INFJ temperament kind is kind of rare, creating up solely concerning 1 to 2% of the population. This implies that INFJ's square measure typically misunderstood or illegal, as they'll not match showing neatness into the expectations of others. However, the INFJ's distinctive mix of reflection, intuition, and compassion permits them to bring a contemporary perspective to a range of things. Despite their rarity, INFJs have created a major impact within the world through their creative thinking, insight, and idealism. Thus, if you are associate degree INFJ, bear in mind that your temperament kind is special and valuable, even though it isn't continually simple to seek out your home within the world. The INFJ temperament kind is outlined victimization the Myers-Briggs Kind Indicator, MBTI, framework. The MBTI may be a tool that helps individuals perceive their own temperament and the way they relate to others. It will this by breaking down temperament into 4 dimensions. Introverted, I, versus extroverted, E. This dimension measures however individuals get their energy. Introverts tend to induce their energy from at intervals, whereas extroverts get their energy from the skin world. INFJs square measure introverts, which means they recharge by defrail time alone or with autonomy low cluster of sure people. Intuitive, N, versus sensing, S. This dimension measures however individuals method info. Intuitives tend to specialize in the large image and appearance for patterns and connections, whereas sensors specialize in the concrete details and facts. INFJs square measure intuitive, which means they place confidence in their insight and gut feelings to form selections. Feeling, F, versus thinking, T. This dimension measures however individuals create selections. Feelers tend to base their selections on their values and emotions, whereas thinkers base their selections on logical analysis. INFJs square measure feelers, which means they place their personal values and also the well-being of others. Judging, J, versus perceiving, P. This dimension measures however individuals approach the skin world. Judgers tend to be organized and decisive, whereas perceivers tend to be a lot of versatile and spontaneous. INFJs square measure judgers, which means they like to own an inspiration and stick with it. Together, these 4 dimensions kind the descriptor INFJ, that stands for introspective, intuitive, feeling, judging. This distinctive combination of traits defines the INFJ temperament kind and sets it except different sorts. INFJs have a range of strengths that enable them to surpass in many alternative fields. Some samples of however INFJs have used their strengths in varied professions or personal endeavors include counseling or therapy. INFJs square measure famous for his or her empathic nature and talent to know complicated problems. This makes them well suited for careers in message or medical care, wherever they'll use their insight and understanding to assist others go through their issues. Writing or journalism, INFJs square measure inventive and intuitive, which might create them nice writers or journalists. They're ready to draw connections between on the face of it unrelated ideas and convey them in an exceedingly compelling method. Social activism, INFJs square measure typically driven by their values and want to form a positive impact on the globe. This may lead them to careers in social policy, wherever they'll use their idealism and talent to ascertain the large image to advocate for causes they believe. Education, INFJs square measure typically patient and understanding, creating them nice academics. They square measure. They're ready to convey complicated ideas in an exceedingly method that's accessible to others and are ready to kind sturdy connections with their students. Entrepreneurship. INFJs square measure innovative and freelance, which might create them fortunate entrepreneurs. They're ready to suppose outside the box and are available up with inventive solutions to issues, and that they square measure ready to work severally to show their ideas into reality. These square measure simply a number of samples of however INFJs have used their strengths in varied professions or personal endeavors. With their creative thinking, insight, and idealism, INFJs square measure capable of creating a positive impact in many alternative fields. In conclusion, we've explored the INFJ temperament kind and the way it manifests in people. INFJs square measure introspective, intuitive, feeling, and judgment, and that they square measure famous for his or her creative thinking, insight, and idealism. We've mentioned a number of the distinctive strengths of INFJs, like their ability to know complicated problems and their empathic nature, still as a number of the challenges they'll face, like feeling misunderstood or isolated. We've conjointly checked out some known INFJs. World Health Organization have used their distinctive qualities to form a major impact within the world. Overall, the INFJ temperament kind is rare and valuable, even though it will be troublesome to seek out one's place within the world as associate degree INFJ. If you are associate degree INFJ, bear in mind that your distinctive combination of traits is special and might be wont to create a positive impact in many alternative fields. Many thanks for looking at and learning a lot of concerning the INFJ temperament kind.